Back with another episode, Martin James Designs, the Sporty bobber build. We are getting the front end put together. So I'm putting a lowering kit on the front of this bike because we put the burly slammers in the rear. This is gonna level the bike out for the bobber, look real nice and low. We're gonna be reassembling the forks, putting the handlebars back on, basically getting the whole front end dressed up. So I'll show you guys the parts that I got laid out. So here's the lowering kit. We're gonna open that up. I think it's by, Drag Specialties. So I'll leave that in the description. I have all of our triple tree bolts and stuff that we've powder coated in the previous episodes. I have new gaskets and seals. Powder coated the forks, handlebars, and triple trees, all clean. And I'm stoked to be working with a company with these headlights, so I'll make sure I leave a description in that. I probably won't get to be putting the lights in, but they're LED, super affordable. You can get them off Amazon. I'll put the link in the description as well. I got a couple different ones I'm going to be picking from. So stoked to be using those. I think the first step is to get all of the parts laid out and get these forks rebuilt. Okay, I've just hand tightened the triple trees and just hand threaded the bolts in. I'm gonna move on to the forks. So, I'm gonna give them a quick clean and air blow them out from the dust and stuff from powder coating. Here's the stems, all of the stock parts we're gonna be reusing. And this is the fork rebuild kit. So this is the stuff we're not gonna be using, and I'll be replacing it all with this. Clips too, actually. So we're gonna rebuild these, and I also will be putting 15 weight. It's a little bit heavier. I think regular is around 10 common, but I've been running a little heavier weight just for a little bit of a stiffer front suspension. Now that we got the cylinders into the forks, we're gonna put this here. So they have like it's called like a bush or bearing setter, or what's it called? There's a fork seal setter, I think that's what it's called. I've put a whole bunch of these together, forks now, and this is what I'm using. It's literally just the same diameter as the seal, and I'll show you how I use it, but this is just a piece of post. I've been putting some fence up on my property, I had some of this. For the Dynas, I've used 2-inch ABS. That seems to work because the forks are bigger, so this works well. First thing I'm gonna do, I have my washer. That's gonna go here. Make sure that's the bottom out. Okay, I'm gonna put some assembly lube, a little bit of lube on the seals just so it's easier to set. So you have to set it far enough down. Let me show you. Oh, here, I'll put this in first. Okay. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. So there's the seal in there, and there's a little groove. See the groove? This clip has to clip in that groove before the dust cover comes on. I'm gonna pop this clip on, like so. There, just snaps in. Now, this is the dust cover. That's gonna go over the top. I'm just gonna put just a little bit of lube on that. Slides over. And then you can carefully use this. Push down. So see the powder I taped off when I powder coated, because this right here, I taped that off so no powder got on that and no powder got on this. Because when these slide down, we need them to click in place. Those are the covers. So that way you don't have the thickness of the powder, because otherwise it wouldn't work. It would be too tight. So I've learned the hard way. I've finally got that one figured out. So I'll pop those on and we'll move to the next step. Okay, time for an update. So, forks are all done, seals are in. The exterior part, like I rebuilt them, but we obviously still have to put the springs and top nuts and stuff on. But for now, that's where we're at. I've mocked one up here. So the triple tree is literally just sitting there hand tight. I've got the forks lined up roughly how I want them. Still have to put the fork cover on here, but what we're gonna do is these are Biker's Choice. I ordered them for the Dyna, and I ordered the wrong ones. The Dynas have 49 millimeters. And these are 39, which happens to be for the Sportster. So we are going to be using these fork boots here to keep that black look going. These I did not want to powder coat. They're obviously the cylinder. I don't know if you could bake them or whatnot. I just avoided it. But I've seen this done before. I have yet to do it. But for you guys who follow me, you know I make a lot of like decals and vinyl stickers and stuff. I make my own logos. So I'm actually going to use this vinyl as a wrap. It's gloss black. And I am going to pre-wrap this cylinder from here to here. So the entire thing will be black when I slide it through. And then the fork boot will be here. So it will essentially be an entire black front end. So I'm gonna work on that next. Looks like paint almost, nice and gloss. And I even heated it up around the edge so it overlaps a little bit. So when we tighten the nut down, it's actually gonna seal against the vinyl, which will help hold it in place, as well as definitely make sure no chrome is showing. So I'm just gonna quickly do the other one, and then we'll get these forks set. hack this morning. I am not that smart because I never opened the lowering kit because I've never put one in before for the front forks. After I did all of the work assembling the front end. Now, I'll show you what I have to do. I didn't realize, but the spring on the underside of the dampening rod is what actually lowers the bike. So, this is a 1-inch drop, which needs to go above the spring like this, which gives the bike a 1-inch drop. Or I have to put this 2-inch one with the stock one to get a 2-inch drop. But I think I'm only gonna do the 1-inch. That is more than enough because we got the burly slammers in the back. I don't want it to be too low. So I'm gonna start with that. But in order to do that, I have to take the fork tubes off. I don't have to take them fully apart again, but I need to release the bottom nut bolt that's holding the damper down, and I have to remove them from the triple trees, which means this is gonna get all scratched up most likely. So I'll be redoing this too. So I'm not gonna bother filming all that. I'm just gonna get it to the point when we're reinstalling the springs. Okay, this is actually kind of good to show you guys, just in case you just wanted to lower your bike without having to rebuild the whole fork. So, obviously there's no spring in here, it's empty. Once you remove the bottom bolt that connects to the dampening rod here, this will slide out of the fork tube. So the new seals, everything are still connected here. You don't need to touch any of that. The dampening rod comes out. This is stock. So here you have your stock spring. These are the ones that LA Choppers gives you. So they're slightly bigger. And there's also this 1-inch spacer. So you could technically double these up like this. That'd make the bike really low. I don't think I want to go that low to start. So what I will do though is use the springs they gave with the 1-inch spacer. You're going to slide that on the dampening rod like so, and then the spacer. So when you put that back in, this is going to allow the whole fork to sit that much lower. And then if you notice the difference in the springs, we have a difference in the springs, and then we're going to cut the spacer according to size. So that's how we have to do this. I removed the vinyl off of the tube because it kind of scratched on the way out. Plus there was a few bubbles in it, so I want to redo it, make it a little better. So I'm going to throw this back together. Okay. Now I'm where I was supposed to be this morning. Yeah, let's get these springs in. Get the fork fluid in. So they're calling for about 1.5 inch compression. These are the spacers. So I'm just gonna put the springs in, washer on top and bottom of spacer on each one, and see how much compression we have when I push the fork nuts down. And we're looking for about 1.5 inch for average ride. Stiffer, so 2 inches would be more of an aggressive ride, a little bit harder. So I'm gonna shoot for what they recommend. Gonna use this. Okay, I've cut my spacers, both the same. I'm using 15 weight fork oil. And for this bike, it's gonna be 12.3 ounces per fork. I use this for mixing paint, but this will work. All right. I left the vinyl a little long here, so I could cut it nice and flush before I put the caps on them. Make sure you don't drop anything in there. Like that. Next episode, I'm going to finish all of the powder coating. So the forward controls, the rest of the bolts, the rotors, the flywheel, the parts for the rear end. I'm going to get all that done so I can get this rear end and all the smaller stuff put back together, start pulling some wires, things like that, just like odds and ends. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure you guys subscribe to follow the build, and I'll catch you on the next one.